You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
What's going on, U.S. Cellular customers? I've got good news, so don't hit skip, at least not yet. I'm talking about their special customer event, Us Days. What is Us Days? It means exclusive offers just for their customers, just to say thanks, like $1,200 off any phone, plus $300 off any tablet. No, I didn't just misread that. They must really like you. Us Days at U.S. Cellular, exclusive offers just for you, just to say thank you. Right now, U.S. Cellular customers get $1,200 off any phone, plus $300 off any tablet. Terms apply.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Packernet Podcast. I am your host and resident panelist, as always, Ryan Schlipp. Check us out online, packernet.com. Find me on Twitter, pack_daddy. Well, as promised, so will be delivered. We're going to go through the press conferences or locker room interviews, I guess would be more accurate, of the, let's see, what players do we have here? We got Javon Bullard, Jaire Alexander, Eric Stokes, Jaden Reed, Evan Williams, and we'll see where that leaves us when that's all said and done. So why don't we start off with Javon Bullard. I'm not going to go through every single thing that they say. There's a lot of just sort of general, hey, how's it been going for you there, pal? Question was, how has the Georgia contingent been treating you so far? Javon Bullard being a safety out of the University of Georgia. We obviously have a lot of Georgia defenders on the team.
Amazing. You know, we might as well keep adding dogs to Green Bay. And I'm happy to be here, man. Happy to be here with those guys. Those guys are a tremendous amount of help for me. Just like I said, we go way back, man. I went to school with those guys, and now everything coming full circle for us. It's amazing.
Here he is answering how he likes Green Bay.
It's nice. It's nice people. I ain't gonna lie, I was at a grocery store the other day, and everybody's just so nice. I was like, hey, everybody having a good day. No, but beautiful people, nice people, man. A great organization, clearly. Great guys in the locker room. Guys taking me under their wing. It's amazing, man. I'm happy to be here.
He was asked a little bit about his thoughts on the 100% participation.
It's amazing. Those guys got, we have a certain thing on our mind, and I'm pretty sure everybody in this organization know what that is, so we're going to strive to do that. And to do that, we need everybody. You know, you're only as strong as your weakest link, and if you have no weakest links, then we'll have no problem.
He was asked about Xavier McKinney and what it's like having him back there to help as a leader.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, man. You're talking about a guy that has continued to prove himself in this league, has established himself as a household name and one of the best at his position. So it's huge, man. A guy that I look up to, and a guy that's going to help me tremendously.
How do you see yourself?
Just let the left right out.
I feel like we'll complement each other very well. You know, at the end of the day, I know he's going to do his job, and he expects me to do the same thing. So making sure we're on the same page and making sure we get the job done.
What's one of the biggest tips you picked up from me so far?
Be a pro. Just everything you do, make sure it's pro-like. You know, the biggest thing with us, I mean, we similar styles and like just how we think and how we diagnose film, but things like that. My biggest thing was recovery, the way that he take care of his body. You know, the best ability is availability in this league. So the more you're available, the more, you know what I'm saying, plays you're going to make, the more you're going to continue to play. So right now, just being able, I've learned from him just taking care of your body, being able to recover.
So that was Javon Bullard. Nothing super earth-shattering there, but it's always good to just hear from uncommon voices. You know, I mean, these are guys that we're really hoping can make a big impact for us in the future. Got a lot of high hopes for guys like Javon Bullard, especially given the situation he's in, not just with the players, but also the coaching staff. And just good to hear from him, and good to hear that he sounds like he's being surrounded by good people, getting some good advice, and seems to be coming into this with the right mentality. So fingers crossed on that. Next up, why don't we go over to Jaire? First question, what are you doing here?
You know, just going into year 7, I just want to, you know, continue to do things that'll help this team moving forward. That's all.
Next, how do you like Hafley?
I like Jeff. Jeff's, I mean, he's been great since day one. You know, preaches aggression, getting after everything. So, I mean, he's a cool guy.
Next question is, why do you think this defense suits you? I think, does this defense suit you would have been a good starting point, but we'll just assume it does.
I mean, you see it across the board. We got a bunch of athletes on the field who like to make plays and can make plays. So, I mean, I think this is going to work really well. Oh, man, I'm super motivated. You know, I feel like every offseason always a fresh start to do better and get better. So that's why I'm here.
Next question, what do you think of having Xavier McKinney in your secondary?
Man, I mean, you know, I like it. You know, I was pleased. You know, I know Sav left, man. That's my dude, and I miss Sav. But, you know, having X, man, I mean, we already are on the same page with things. He communicates. You know, he has a little bit of fashion sense, you know, just a little bit, you know. I say the second best dresser in the DB room now.
Here's his thoughts on Stokes.
I'm actually very excited for Eric Stokes. I mean, he's come out here in this OTAs, and he's performed really well. He's battled through a bunch of adversity, as we know. And, I mean, just for him to come out every day and you know, just work to get better, I mean, that's just a blessing in itself, man. So I'm very proud of him.
It's a little bit of self-reflection, his thoughts on himself, and, you know, is this year going to be kind of a reboot, or do you have more to prove?
Man, it's just it's a little bit of both, you know, a little bit of both. You know, I feel like I still have so much more to put out there and display consistently, and I'm just ready to attack that.
And here he is talking about Jaden Reed.
I mean, he has full potential. I mean, you know, he reminds me of a young Randall Cobb, but I think, you know, he's better. But yeah, I mean, you know, he's hungry, man. He's hungry, and when you got a young guy coming in and hungry for the ball, I mean, they're going to make their plays, and you see it.
Here's Jaire's thoughts on the NFLPA proposal to ditch the off-season stuff in favor for a longer training camp.
See, my thing is only that, you know, we'll be going for about 8 months at that point, and, you know, that's a long time to play football, but especially with one bye week and 3 preseason games. So, I mean, you know, I'm kind of liking how it is now, you know.
And there is sort of, you know, again, I talked yesterday about Matt LaFleur and why would they not want a coach's perspective, and they should also want a GM's perspective, and they should also want a player's perspective. Again, not let them decide, but just hear what they have to say, and I think that makes sense. On one hand, you're saying, hey, maybe this longer ramp-up will help them better prepare, and then there's less injuries. On the other side of it, their bodies are completely worn down by the end of the season, especially veterans, right? Adding another 2 weeks or possibly month or however long to this period could have the opposite effect, where, yeah, maybe initially there's less injuries because their bodies are more conditioned. What happens at the end of the season? And not even just injuries, does the product suffer? Skipping through a couple of these that I don't find super interesting, asking about Derek Ansley and how he's been.
Man, you know, like I said, I mean, Derek, I call him DA, but DA, I mean, he's just been great. You know, he's been perfect. He works with me every day on my craft, on my technique. You know, it's just fun working with him. You know, I mean, I think, you know, I think the sky's the limit for our room and for myself, especially with having DA around.
So, and this is where I kind of, you know, we all kind of have to form our own opinions on what they're saying and how much stock we put into it. But, you know, you can tell the enthusiasm and the fact that they kind of venture out and are able to go out and give you information and stuff that they really appreciate, as opposed to sort of canned answers. You know, for example, I think the Jaden Reed thing was a little bit of a canned answer. Not that he doesn't necessarily believe it, but it was just kind of a random, like, yeah, I mean, he's hungry and, you know, he's good. I think he's good. You know, this was like, oh man, where do I even start? You know, and the sky's the limit. And he goes on giving specifics. He's with me every day. He works on my craft. He works on my technique. And that's the thing is I love to hear, because we have so much talent on defense, especially in the DB area. When you look at Jaire, but also Stokes, when you look at Xavier McKinney, when you look at Javon Bullard and the other safeties that we drafted, I mean, you just look at first and second round picks, it's pretty much everywhere with the exception of our nickel corner. All 4 spots are first to second round picks with, the safeties. So we got 2 first round corners and 2 second round safeties right now. And 2 of them are already proven in Jaire and McKinney. 2 of them have early round upside and potential and athleticism and talent. And so having guys that have not just the know-how, but also the mentality, but also, as he said, guys that are willing to work with you daily. You know, we hear about the frickin' offensive coordinator over in, New Jersey for the Jets that's got his feet up on his desk, isn't even holding meetings. You know, just because you're the coach doesn't mean you're, first of all, good at it, and second of all, dedicated to it. How much time do you put into this? How much time do you put into your players on a hands-on basis and also on a back-end basis where you try to fine-tune and figure out what can I do to help this player? What can we do schematically to help these guys? All that kind of stuff. So to hear that that's what we're getting from Derek Ansley, DA, is it's pretty exciting. Here he is talking a little bit more about Xavier McKinney from a more leadership standpoint.
On the same note, right? That's made the same way.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's always fun. You know, I mean, I call X my big little bro. You know, he's big little bro. So, you know, it'll be fun just leading the way alongside of him, and, you know, also another voice who can make plays. I mean, you see it. I mean, he makes plays all day, so.
I got to be honest, man. The amount of questions about what happened last season are freaking nauseating. I've now skipped it like 3 or 4 times. Who gives a crap? How much have you grown as a person? How much have you changed? How much has that changed your perspective on things? When did you stop being a selfish person and become more of a team-driven person? When did that evolution occur? You can tell Jaire is like, he's got the most like polite personality in the world, but it's taken everything to not, at the very least, be a smart aleck about it, and at the most just smacking him in the face. Like, I get it. I understand it's a thing that happened. But the obsession with it is just, it's just stupid. Here he is kind of talking a little bit about the staff changes and whatnot and how that's been going.
Your happiness and your feeling more connected.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, when I met the strength staff first, and they were great. Like, they were, you know, there was a mutual respect, and I was willing to work with them, you know, and then I met the coaches next, and same there. So, I mean, it was all good vibes from the get-go. I mean, that propelled me here as well, you know, talking with Matt, talking with Goody. You know, like, I've seen them, like, several times throughout this offseason before I even came back to OTA. So just having that relationship and building that, you know, it's been helpful.
Was that missing from...
See, and this is the part to me that matters. And I'll allow him to elaborate here. The next question is, was that missing from the previous staff or whatever? But, I mean, what matters is the problem fixed, right? Different doesn't mean better. Different's just different. And it might seem all rosy and everything else at first, but it could spiral again. Like, what actually was the problem, and is it fixed now? I'm going to sit here and dwell on, so Jaire, you were really immature. When did that stop? Shut up. Good Lord.
Previous defensive staff?
You know, I mean, I wouldn't say it was missing, but, you know, there were, it wasn't as easy as it is, you know, with this new staff, you know, and they've been great.
So you can tell by the answer, the long hesitation prior to the answer, that the answer was essentially yes, it was missing, but he didn't really want to say it, so he kind of rephrased it and was like, well, I don't know about missing, but it's just, it's been a lot easier with the new staff. So, you know, again, I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know who's to blame. It sounds like well, whatever. You know, it just wasn't working. And the training staff seems almost like, you know, we all focus primarily on the defensive side because that was more evident. We could see the defense failing and we could see the players' frustration, and we can understand why there was frustration and go from there. But there was a whole big thing behind the scenes that was going on. And it seems like from the players' perspective, just my estimation is that there was actually bigger issues with the training staff than there was with the defensive coordinator and the rest of the defensive staff, although I do think that there were some issues there. But, you know, again, whatever the issue was, it sounds like it had something to do with, you know, maybe pushing guys in the wrong way, playing them when they shouldn't be, whatever. I just want to know that we're good, you know? And it seems like and that's the thing. That's part of the frustration is he's here. He's already said it's good. He's already moved on. We're moving on now. Like, good, it's fixed. And it's like people want to dwell on, like, bro, shut up. You ever, like, get into an argument with somebody and then it's over? And then people keep, like, adding in little things. Like, shut up. It's done. Leave it alone. Like, why are you causing problems? And, like, you know, again, I'm not even going to play it, but the question, the final question, why was it important for you to make it work here instead of seeking a fresh start elsewhere? Why are you implying that that's even an option? What are you talking about? How do you see what happened last year and just assume that Jaire was, like, on the verge of forcing his way out of here? Like, what caused you to come running back? Why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you force your way off the team? Why don't you shut your mouth, stupid? What are you talking about? Who's leaving? Where is this even coming from? And he just says, I love playing here. I enjoy it. I wouldn't want to go anywhere else. What is this? It's like we just assume. Oh yeah, it was so awful. It was so terrible. He was on the verge of leaving. And I don't know, maybe these guys have been writing these stories or on their podcasts or whatever else, whoever these people are. Maybe they've been alluding to the fact, because I know I had a lot of people calling in all the time. Like, do you think he's leaving? He's on. I think he's gone. I don't think he's ever going to play a snap for the Packers again. Where are you guys getting this from? Apparently, it's from the people asking these questions. Jaire didn't get along with some people on the training staff and probably the defensive staff. Okay? And then it kind of bubbled over. Gutekunst got involved. He had a talk with Jaire. They both said the talks were great. Jaire obviously realigned himself in that moment. And then they fired the training staff. And then they fired a lot of the defensive staff and hired new people, partially because of this situation to try to move forward. In what universe do you think it ever got to the point where Jaire was like, I'm leaving, I'm never coming back? Like, where are you getting this from? And why do you ask him a question as though it's assumed? Why don't you just ask the question? Was there ever a moment where you felt like maybe you weren't going to play here anymore? Did it ever get to that point? Why do you just jump to, why did you come back here instead of leaving? Why would he leave? Why would you ask anybody that? Could you, like, asking Christian Watson? So, like, you went down to Madison to get your hamstrings and stuff worked on and stuff. Why'd you come back, though? Like, why'd you come back to Green Bay? You could have forced your way off the team and went somewhere else. What are you doing here? What are you talking about? I hope this doesn't go on, like, all year. I mean, good Lord. Maybe that's what makes these guys good at their job, is that they just remember a lot of information. So it's why I could never do it, because I can't retain information the way they can, but man, they got to do a better job of hitting the freaking dump button. You got to let some stuff go. I know that's been in your drafts for like 7 months, and you're so excited to ask the question, but that's been squashed since like December. Anyways, that's it for Jaire. Why don't we take our first break? We'll come back. Again, we got Stokes, Evan Williams, and Jaden Reed, and then we'll see where that leaves us. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. What's going on, U.S. Cellular customers? I've got good news, so don't hit skip, at least not yet. I'm talking about their special customer event, Us Days. What is Us Days? It means exclusive offers just for their customers, just to say thanks. Like $1,200 off any phone, plus $300 off any tablet. No, I didn't just misread that. They must really like you. Us Days at U.S. Cellular, exclusive offers just for you, just to say thank you. Right now, U.S. Cellular customers get $1,200 off any phone, plus $300 off any tablet. Terms apply.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become? Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Jewelry isn't a gift you give just once. It's a way to remind your loved one of a beautiful moment every time they see it. Blue Nile can help you find the gift that says how you feel and says it beautifully, with expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com and experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com to find the perfect jewelry gift for any occasion. BlueNile.com.
Have you ever experienced turbulence on a flight and wondered why?
And you can see all the terrain around you. You've got no issue with visibility or anything?
No, everything's PG.
Maybe you've sat on the tarmac for hours wondering why your plane isn't moving.
Well, we're outside here. They're saying the ramp is closed. They won't let us park because of Air Force One.
Listen in on the conversations between pilots and air traffic controllers on the Air Traffic Out of Control podcast.
510 declaring an emergency. There's smoke in the cabin. I need to make a landing right now on 31 left.
We have the most interesting, wild, and funny ATC recordings you will ever hear. Check out Air Traffic Out of Control wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
We'll do Jaden Reed next. I don't know the question. It just starts off with an answer, but something to the effect of what are your goals or something. I don't know.
I want to, go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. The stats, that's what come with it. But my main goal is to, get there and finish the job.
Next question is talking about, Dontavian made a comment that last year he couldn't play full speed because he was learning the system. So he wants to know from Jaden, essentially, how much faster are you right now?
Man, it's night and day, just knowing the playbook and, understanding, leverages and, places on the field, and knowing my job. And, it's night and day for me. Just understanding, having that confidence going out there and, know what I'm going out there for. And it's definitely night and day.
Again, you put as much stock into it as you want. I think every player says that every year, or at least in their first 3 years or whatever. And obviously most players do not just get better every single year. In fact, most don't. But you got to love hearing it because, it does make sense on a logical level that he would have a better understanding of things. And obviously he showed some pretty impressive talent. So very excited to see if there is actually a step, not just from him, but from Wicks and from Musgrave and from Kraft and all the young guys. Even Watson and Dobbs for that matter. Next question, how did you kind of figure it out so quickly last year and kind of become the guy you were?
It really didn't, honestly. That's just, me being a natural-born leader kind of and just understanding, just being mature and, knowing my job and stuff like that. But really, I wasn't fully confident until probably the end of the season. So I'm definitely at a different stage now. So I'm looking forward to what happens this year.
So, again, that's good to hear because, if we look at it, I haven't looked at Jaden Reed in a while. It's always a good idea because you get an idea in your mind of how things went for guys, at least for me, my selective memory being what it is. It's good to kind of recheck these things. But if you look at it, his emergence started around week 10, so about the same as most of the team. He had one good game week 2, but aside from that, he looked a lot like Jordan Love, which maybe there's something to that. But yeah, he emerged around week 10, so for him to say I didn't have confidence until the end of the year, really, it just goes to show that, even after a 5-target, 5-reception, 84-yard, 1-touchdown game week 10 against Pittsburgh, it's not like you just have this massive amount of confidence and swagger and everything else that obviously benefits you as a wide receiver. So you're still feeling like you don't know what you're doing until, again, the end of the year. Now, unfortunately, the last 2 weeks, the playoff games, he didn't grade out very well. But you look at Tampa Bay, Minnesota, Chicago. His best game was against Minnesota. 92.7 PFF grade. 8 targets, 6 receptions, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. I wouldn't be surprised if that was around the moment when he realized, okay, this is pretty legit. And it probably didn't hurt either that against Chicago, another good game, 4 targets, 4 receptions, 112 yards. So obviously hoping that we can carry that into the next year. And, Christian Watson just kills me every single time. As soon as he hits his stride, it was almost the same thing. He hit it around week 12. Week 12, he had an 88 PFF grade. Week 13, he had an 89 PFF grade. And then he goes out with an injury. It's like, come on, it's right there. Guy's so good. He did come back for the playoffs, but obviously it's like, how much do you expect in that moment, I guess? Next up, the question is, what did the coaches tell you to work on in the offseason?
Definitely, just work on the little things, getting in and out of the top of routes and stuff like that. Definitely being a better leader, more vocal. That's pretty much it, really. Just working on the little things.
It's another question here. I'm actually going to play the whole question because I care less about the answer than the question. I should stop being so critical of the questions, but sometimes I don't understand the thought process.
Jay, you had a lot of catches. The touchdown you had at home against Tampa where Jordan rolled out and slung it to you. And then your catch and run New Year's Eve against Minnesota. Yeah. What did those two plays tell you about what this offense, you and Jordan and everyone can do moving forward?
It just showed.
So, again, maybe I'm just being too nitpicky, but why is it that you think that the two specific plays that you came up with off the top of your head specifically told him anything? You think he had some great revelation about those two specific plays? But he's just sitting in the shower one day and he's thinking up and he's like, man, I'll tell you what, those two plays really taught me this. And he's like, oh, it's funny you asked that because I actually did have an exact revelation about those two plays. I don't understand. But anyways.
How much better we, had that connection and was on the same page, really. Obviously, the one against Tampa was scramble drill, so, me and Jordan was just connected right there. He knew where I was going, I knew where he was going, and, he threw a great ball where I can make a play, and that's what it was. And, same thing against the Vikings, man, just being on the same page. The DB was a little flat-footed, so the route was kind of short. And Jordan's timing was just really perfect, and just making a play after that, really.
You guys made it.
What does Christian Watson bring to the offense?
Man, vertical threat, man. That guy running at you, that can be scary. So, make a DB panic, back up. Just to have that in our offense, can give us a little space to work and, make them play different leverages and stuff like that.
How eager are you?
So, and again, I love Watson as a receiver. I think he's an underrated receiver. Just in terms of his ability to, run routes and run after the catch and whatnot. But there's no question one of the biggest assets from the coach's standpoint and the other receiver standpoint is how much he helps everything else, by creating space underneath. So, again, even if things don't, and this is where people are going to end up disliking Christian Watson because it's like, oh, where's all the stats? His stats are embedded in some of the other guys' stats. In some of the receptions that would not have been made had he not cleared out that area so that the receiver could run underneath wide open. And it's not massively interesting, but it's the last question. So how eager are you for everybody to see what you can do?
Yeah, this is a whole new year, man. We got new players in the locker room as well. We got new faces and new players. So we gonna do it how we did it. We're going to keep the same standard and, just keep trying to improve.
All right, so that is the end of Jaden Reed. So we will keep clipping along. Why don't we do Evan Williams next, because this is a very short one. We'll go through maybe more of the questions than I would have for some of the other guys, just because otherwise we would just skip the whole thing. Here he is. Somebody asked about advice. I don't know from who. I'm guessing Xavier McKinney, but I'm not sure. But just he kind of goes through some of the process that he's going through and how things are feeling for him, so it's interesting enough.
Or probably just to say to trust everything we've gone in the meetings. I feel like as a rookie, sometimes I get a little antsy on the field, trying to do too much, or my head's in 10 different places at once. And he's keeps harping just to trust your training, trust everything, all the reps we've been getting, and just to believe in myself, a little more. You definitely want to try to be like other people, and so you're kind of just learning on the fly, but I feel like he's just teaching a lot of us just to, have confidence in our preparation and, everything we've worked on so far. And, I've taken that to heart.
How are you adjusting to Green Bay off the field?
Adjusting to the city?
No, it's not hard at all. You got, every time you're walking out to practice, you got people wanting to take pictures. There's somebody out there that keeps handing out cookies, every Wednesday. It's like, haven't gotten this treatment in a while. But, it's a cool change. Just, having that community feel around you, and everybody's just so welcoming. It hasn't been difficult at all, adjusting to this life, and definitely can get used to, the hospitality for sure.
It's weird. I hear horrible things about Wisconsinites and people in Green Bay. It's weird to hear players say that it's such a welcoming place to everybody. In fact, more welcoming than anybody's used to, from their hometowns, from all the other different colleges they went to. Sounds like it's actually a uniquely kind and welcoming place. Strange, because I that's not what we keep hearing about that area. Huh. Anyways, the next question is about Oregon in the Big Ten, and I don't really care to play that, but just a little bit from Evan Williams. Again, good to hear from him. Very excited. Hopefully we get a chance to see him. I'm thinking more and more that we're really not going to see him very much this year, or I don't know when we would, pending injuries or whatever. But obviously hoping for the best for him and Oladapo and whatnot, and hoping that these guys can develop and make some kind of an impact somewhere on the team. But we'll see. If nothing else, we get a chance to watch him a lot in the training camp preseason time. But why don't we take our final break, and we'll come back and hear from Eric Stokes. We got several questions going out to him, so we'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with Matt. I feel great. Had a great offseason with the people I worked out with back down home at a doubt, and this is one of the best I've felt since coming out.
What's it like to be Eric Stokes after what you've gone through the last 2 years?
Man, it's great. Everybody got a little story, everybody got a little thing, but man, this just taught me so many lessons, taught me so many different little things that I can't wait. This is a new Eric. Well, I'm gonna say new, pretty much the same, but just a better experience, more, it is what it is type of Stokes.
Skip down a little bit here. First of all, I love his Southern accent. It's so thick. But who was it that helped you kind of develop that positive mindset that he had going through? He talked about it before. I didn't really play it, but just about having a positive mindset going through the tough stretch that he went through.
From the start, just being around Key, especially like Sewell, them two was my Key and Sewell was my guys. So I learned so much from them too, just seeing how they approach everything and all that stuff. So it was just so much to where them two, anytime I'm always calling them, asking them questions and any little life thing.
By the way, I don't know if you're like me, where it took you a long time to figure out who Key is, but Keyshawn. I'm sitting here like, who the heck is Key? And Sewell would be Razul, who was obviously not here anymore, but talks a little bit about his offseason and going to Madison.
So when we went out in Madison, just showed me everything to where everything was equaling up for my foot, to where my foot wasn't as strong as it needed to be. So that's why it put more pressure on my hamstring, my calf, and all that stuff like that. So it just showed me a lot of different little things. And then I went back home, back where I trained at in Atlanta at a doubt, and basically we just trained hard at it. So every day we doing calf raises, we doing hamstring stuff. We just attacking my legs and all this stuff day in and day out. And now I come back, I feel even better. I run, I feel like I'm faster than I was before. So it's a lot of great little things.
Considering he is one of the fastest guys in the NFL, and that's not an exaggeration, that's really saying something. And it sounds like it's very similar to the Christian Watson situation. Different reasonings behind it. He had some injuries and starting to re-heal something. It causes sort of an imbalance. And so the plan that they developed there, which he got sent home with, was essentially the same, which is build up your strength so that it's equal on both sides. So love hearing that. Can't wait to see him fly around the field. And again, if anybody's answer was more, I genuinely believe what they're saying, as far as which answer was the most convincing, it was probably Matt LaFleur talking about Stokes. Here he is talking about Halfley.
Oh, I love Halfley. I love how his mindset is and everything. So he's coming in. He just wants you to ball. He's going to put you in the positions. He ain't going to make you overthink anything and all that stuff. He just wants you to go out there and have fun and just play 110 miles per hour. And that's what I love about Halfley. So he's going like how he always say, I'm going to take the bullet. You just go out there and just have fun and you just play.
What do you think? Yeah, so you want to talk about believing a guy when he gives you an answer and not just some BS. Hearing him start off by going, oh, I love Halfley. But again, it makes sense. Sometimes people say stuff and you're not quite so sure about it, whether that they care or whatever. Honestly, hearing Kenny Clark talk about Joe Barry was significantly less convincing than hearing Stokes talk about Halfley. But at the end of the day, too, I never had a reason why. With Pettin, you kind of did. He's kind of a hard-nosed, tough guy, and he's had a lot of prior success. With Barry, the only thing I really remember them talking about was, that he's a high-energy guy. But I don't know that ever really translated to the players in terms of their appreciation. I know Matt LaFleur liked it. But with Halfley, it's like, why do you like him? Are you kidding me? Because I get to just fly around the field, right? He does all the thinking. I get to go out and just play football and hit people and he's trying to help me get more picks. You think that there's anything that these guys want more than getting some picks, some takeaways? So yeah, they're excited for sure. And he asked about Bullard. What do you think of that guy?
Oh, you talking about young Bull? I love Bull. Bull came in right after me, but I knew Bull because I used to always go back down to Athens and all that stuff. So having him, I know what type of person he is. I know he's a dog, he's a savage, he's gonna come and he's knocking heads off. So I can't wait to be out there with him.
It's hard to not like Stokes, man. I mean, he gets a lot of crap from Packer fans because he hasn't been on the field producing, but personality-wise, this guy's fun, and he just seems like a genuinely cool person. He gets excited about people. So, I mean, it's you want to ask anybody anything about anyone that you like, Halfley or Bullard or whatever, this is the guy to ask because he's going to give you a very enthusiastic answer. But, yeah, I obviously love hearing that, this dude's going to go out and kill people. It's like, all right, great. Here he is kind of elaborating on the Madison trip.
It taught me pretty much. I mean, I pretty much figured like it was pretty much everything dealing with my foot, but that was just a confirmation to where I need to get everything else around there stronger to where that's something that I didn't know to where I had to get my calf stronger, my hamstrings and all this stuff to where it just helped me out a lot pretty much dealing with that. So heading into the offseason, I knew what I needed to focus on and I attacked it as hard as I can and perfect.
And then LaFleur commented that your personality's back. Is this the most fun you've had playing football?
Oh, hands down. I ain't had this much fun since my rookie year. After that, it was just a lot being in my own head, dealing with a lot of little stuff and all out there. Now just, man, it is what it is. That's the biggest thing that I done learned, man. It is what it is. It's football. This a little kid's game at the end of the day. So, I'm going to mess up. I'm going to make mistakes, but just go out there and make it 110 miles per hour. Everything else, I can live with it.
I know it's only early.
And here's the thing. That statement came right out of Halfley's mouth, I guarantee it. And that's why he's having fun. I guarantee you it was Halfley and DA and all these coaches saying, go make mistakes, just do it at 110 miles an hour. And Stokes has internalized that, and that's why he's having fun. She elaborated and asked, how is that translated on the field, essentially?
Man, I done seen a lot to where boosting up my teammates, just knowing I'm always gonna be the one that smile, laugh. I ain't finna hold my head on nothing and all that stuff, but just live with it. I'm gonna tell everybody, just go out there and have fun. At the end of the day, you blessed to be here. So man, bump it. Let's go out here and just ball.
Then got asked about Jaire and what you see from him.
Ja is Ja. He's coming in here and he's gonna be like the person that everybody want to be. He could be the leader. He could be the vocal person. And just seeing him coming here, being here for OTAs, because I ain't never seen Ja here for OTAs since I've been here. So just seeing him come here, I know that it's a big step for in a great direction that we're gonna be here.
And again, I talked about the importance of guys showing up to OTAs. It's more than just whether it's voluntary or not. It has broader impacts. I don't know if it helps them become better football players individually compared to their intense one-on-one training regimens that they have at these elite institutions. I'm guessing that's probably better. But this isn't an individual sport, it's a team sport, and it's also a culture thing. And to have Stokes notice that and observe that and go, oh man, he's here, it's a big deal. Even if you come and just kind of shake hands and talk to the guys and kick things off and head out, whatever, man. Just, the point is it matters. Next question, is Jaire the biggest trash talker?
Is he maybe the best trash talker?
Trash talk on the team? No, I will hands down give that the key. I will hands down give that the key. I will hands down give that the key. But Ja, you got to catch him on his days. So some days he'll be mellow and ain't really talking, and then some days he's up on 10, and that's when y'all really hear it. Mm-hmm. So it's a really hit or miss with Ja.
We hear those.
Another reason to love Keyshawn Nixon. I'm going to skip to the end here. There's a lot of talk about his leg and his foot and everything. It's just kind of repeating itself, and then questions about Georgia's defense, which I'm not super interested in for the sake of this podcast. We'll go to the last question here, though, which is, did the Packers not drafting a cornerback until the final round feel like a vote of confidence in you?
They're showing you and you being able to come back all the way and play.
I mean, at the end of the day, I couldn't control anything that they did. So, I mean, if they went and drafted a corner in the first round, I was going to be there, make sure that he learned the ropes and all that stuff and just be the vet like how Kev was to me. That's why I have so much love for Kev. The moment I came in, he wasn't doing anything different towards me. He treated me like Ja. He treated me like one of his little bros and all that stuff, and helped me out so much. So like from my rookie year, I give so much shout out to Kev because man, he helped me out tremendously.
Real cool nod to Kevin King there. Tell you what I was thinking about, obviously Christian and Stokes are both going through this, but they also share something else in common, and that is they're just absolute speed freaks. Maybe I shouldn't wish for this because I don't want them popping something, but it would be kind of cool seeing these guys go head-to-head, and I'm guessing they will be. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that's probably the better matchup. If you've got, for example, let's say Dontavian Wicks and, sorry, Romeo, but Dontavian Wicks and Christian Watson out there, if I'm the defensive coordinator, I want Jaire on Wicks and I want Stokes on Christian. Christian's just too big and fast for Jaire, and I kind of wonder if Dontavian's a little bit too shifty for for Stokes. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. There's no sense in starting something new here, almost 40 minutes in. So we'll go ahead and leave you with that. I will talk to you tonight, tomorrow, whatever. Have a good one. Bye-bye.